How do we use a deposition transcript to show contradictions at the time of trial? Would you like to learn the answer? Come join me as I share with you this great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. So first, a deposition is a question and answer session that's given under oath. It's known as pretrial testimony, where I have an opportunity to find out from witnesses what actually happened. And it basically locks them into testimony given before we actually get to trial. Now, 1 or 2 years later, when the case actually gets to trial, here's how we can actually use that testimony, that pretrial testimony, to show that there were contradictions. When that witness now gets to trial, I now have the opportunity to see whether or not the answers that he gave at the time of his pretrial testimony are the same that he's giving during the course of trial. So let's say it's a medical malpractice case, and now I'm asking the doctor who's being sued about the risks and benefits associated with what he discussed with the patient. And now at the time of trial, I'm asking him the same exact question, but he's giving a different answer. So in that instance, I now have the ability to ask the doctor certain questions on cross-examination. Doctor, isn't it true that 2 years ago I had an opportunity to question you during your deposition known as pretrial testimony? Yes, it is. And during that question and answer session, I asked you certain questions, correct? Yes. And those questions were given under oath. Isn't that true? Yes. And you answered them at the time honestly. Isn't that true? Yes. And you knew that if there were mistakes in the testimony that you gave, that you would have an opportunity later on to then make corrections, correct? Yes. And in fact, after I asked you those questions and you gave those answers, your attorney then gave you the booklet of questions and answers to review. Isn't that true? Yes. And doctor, you did in fact read that, correct? Yes. And you did in fact make changes to the testimony that you gave in that case, correct? Yes. And part of those changes involved typographical errors, correct? Yes. Now doctor, you were asked this question and you gave this answer 2 years ago. Isn't that correct? And now I'll ask him specifically and ask him to look at those particular questions and answers. Yes, I did. And doctor, when you made changes after reviewing that testimony, is there anything in the changes you made to confirm that you made changes about anything that was incorrect in that testimony you gave 2 years ago? No, there wasn't. At this point, I can now do a number of different things. I can now leave it alone because I've shown that there's a contradiction between what the doctor said at trial and what the doctor said 2 years earlier in his pretrial testimony. Or I can continue cross-examining him further. But there are risks and benefits associated with each strategy. So for right now, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And that's one key way that we can use a deposition transcript, pretrial testimony, to show that there's a contradiction. So why do I share this great information with you? You know, I share it because I wanted to teach you about what we do when we have a discrepancy, when there are contradictions at trial. We can use the deposition transcript, the question and answer transcript, to show to the jury that there are clear discrepancies and now confront the witness about them. And let's see what they have to say. I recognize you're watching this because you have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter happened here in New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. This is something I do every single day and I'd love to talk with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. Well, that's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.